Hi everyone, so I've got a collective reading here. As I always say, these readings aren't going to resonate with everybody. So if it does resonate with you, take out the bits that fit, don't try to make them fit. But what I will say is, when we say about relationships, well, it's complicated. I guess what I've got here is it's complicated relationship, okay, or it's been made complicated, and in a lot of respects there's been some manipulation. Now what I would say is, I think that when this first started out, because I feel this has been a long-standing relationship, this isn't something that was a few months ago. I'm talking, this has been going on for a good few years here, okay? Where for all intents and purposes, I feel that this relationship started out where somebody was given maybe potentially the impression that somebody else wanted a long-term relationship, found themselves getting into a long-term relationship, okay? One of the individuals wanted apparently somebody in their life and kind of manipulated that situation, and it kind of took off, okay? I feel they didn't want to leave this other person or lose this other person, for the fact that I think the person being in their lives fulfilled a certain criteria. I think there were feelings, and are definitely feelings here, but there's also been manipulation and things hidden. Now the sad part of this is I feel that there's a crescendo point now where the person that's kind of like orchestrated some of this has fell into patterns and cycles, and as I say, I do feel there are feelings here, okay? I still think there are some muddy waters going around and about this relationship, and I think there's a fear based about the other person potentially could walk away based on certain things coming to light, or that is the fear, because there needs to be complete honesty or communication. But again, I think this is based on the other person finding out, and potentially trust being the issue. There's a lot of regrets here based on one individual's behaviour, I feel, and I think that is a lot has been because I think for some of their actions and their behaviour, it's been kind of like projected onto the other person, because I feel there are two people within this relationship, one who's come from a very sincere, honest point of view, and I think the other one who initially there was that player energy, and I think as time's gone by, as I was saying, I think there is a stepping back point now where they've actually realised, and I think this is a significant recent event that's taken place that's made them actually kind of like understand that they actually now realise the implications of the other person moving away because of the feelings, okay? And equally, their behaviour, how they've been up to this point, and the fact that actually now that they've realised the significance of that person in their life. I'm going to go back to the beginning and try and piece this reading together. Okay, there is a lot here, and I'm going to try and work my way through it. But the main point of this is, what I'm hoping is that these two individuals can work this out, because I think there's going to be a lot of loss and regret on both sides, because I do feel this relationship can work. I just think there's been a hell of a lot of unnecessary situations that could have just been knocked on the head way before. And I do feel there has been some recent stuff at the beginning of a year here that really and really shouldn't have happened. And I think this is the worst part of it here, should this come out, okay? Now, what we've got here, I feel this is more of a long distance relationship, to be perfectly honest with you. We've got a distant friend who's thinking of you here, okay? And I feel this could even when we think about the lockdown periods where kind of people could have even become distant because it's been unable for people to kind of like meet each other in the way that they perhaps ordinarily would, okay? Maybe it's been more difficult, kind of like, kind of finding that time to do that. Circumstances, family, illness, so on and so forth, okay? But we've got this distant friend who's thinking of you, but I equally think this is where this gets a little bit muddy, guys, okay? Because I could equally say here that there could have been potentially as well another individual. So there's, I feel the third party, okay, here, maybe have come into an equation here as well. Now, going back to what I was saying, because I'm going to bring this in, alright. So, I feel, going back to the very beginning here, okay, there's been I'm going to say male and female, and I'm going to use stereotypically, it does not have to be a male, it could be a female doing this, but I'm just going to do it for the purposes of the readings. So sorry guys, it's not meant to be offensive, I'm just going to use this to be stereotypical and make this less complicated, okay? So, we're going to be talking about the guy here, okay? I feel that got involved with a female. I think based at the beginning, there were certain things here, okay? They went into a situation, alright? Potentially it being fun, potentially seeing where things will go, coming out of maybe a bad situation, alright? But thinking that, you know what, I'd like to get into a relationship and see where this goes, okay? Now, I feel that through this there was still another situation going on in the background, okay? But this maybe not have come out either. We've got kind of somebody being a little bit kind of sketchy around the edges, not necessarily saying how things were, having the best of both worlds, but I feel distance here was the key operative way they got around things, okay? We also have situations here, alright, about, okay, getting involved with somebody, alright, telling them that they wanted a longer term relationship, okay, and wanting to keep this as a one-on-one, even though, alright, they didn't want them to be ghosts, so they kind of took them off the market, let's just say, in terms of saying that this is what their intentions were, not necessarily being honest about there were still things going on significantly in their life, okay? Maybe still having things to do with the next person, maybe still potentially having somebody benched, let's say, still playing operative, on a little bit shady, keeping other options available to them. Only this other individual wasn't necessarily privy to that, okay? We have kind of things like family matters, okay, still like maybe going over details to do with, it could be in property, money, it could have been just child maintenance, other situations, but reviewing certain things to do with finances, alright, around children. Still kind of like maintaining that family life, but saying to maybe somebody else, do you know what, when it's convenient, travelling to see them, kind of like still having that involvement with them, but being a little bit sketchy around like other issues going on. Now, I feel like there were reasons here where things couldn't get moving forward. Now, somebody might have wanted to have things moving forward, but potentially here, divorce proceedings or a breakdown of a relationship, using money around this situation to hold back, okay, of fully committing to another individual. Money being the opposite reason, okay, stability. I think they did just enough here, okay, to kind of extend, use the charm, bring that person in. Do you know what I mean? The token gestures, the phone calls, the visits, the communication, all right? And I feel like there was happiness around this. I think this was actually a nice time. I feel like things have been pretty good between these two individuals. There's always been something, okay, not quite in balance around this. There's still been like hopes, wishes that this relationship would move forward, okay, but healing needing to be taken place. Now I feel this again is conjoined to the male counterpart here, for argument's sake, all right, still coming out of this third party arrangement. Now this is where I kind of go, I think this third party arrangement was the disguise, okay, the potential marriage, okay, breakdown of that, that's been used as a ruse, okay, for why this longer term relationship couldn't move forward. And this is why I sort of bring in this card here when I look over the remainder of these cards in this reading. When I look at this card, I think of this, okay, as being the dating card, the options card, all right? And we have this distant friend. When I look at the other cards around here as well, I kind of like say there was an ending to a relationship, okay? Somebody got out of a relationship. They've still been able to have somehow, even though they've come out, like, so saying using a divorce as a reason to why a relationship has been taken so long to move forward. Because I still feel like this person's been connected to still wanting to have some kind of freedom, okay? Being able to go out dating, being able to go out with a lad, still have some element of freedom and not having to be attached, so to speak, okay? Because we have like this very kind of bachelor kind of scenario going on, still going out with the boys, drinking, having a laugh, having some fun, all right, nothing wrong with that. However, what I do feel like is that because there's this other person, okay, who's been in this longer term relationship, in terms of the whole time long being thinking that this relationship, okay, has been based on that this is what they've been wanting, okay, at a distance, not maybe necessarily being aware of some of this other stuff that's been going on in the background. I feel like, as a saying, that this other person has been kind of like unaware, all right, it's all been based around this divorce, all been based about them coming out of another relationship, them being told that they're wanting this long-term commitment, this longer-term relationship, because they're wanting the other person, the female, to be kind of potentially off the market, okay, because that's not what they want, okay. They want to be with them, they don't want to lose them, but they also want to be able to do their own thing. Now I feel like up until this point, okay, this individual has been unaware of, maybe there's been kind of like a little bit of a element of known things haven't been particularly right, but I feel like now the mask is coming off, or truth is starting to emerge, okay, around this. I feel that this other individual, the guy here, has messed up. Because I feel like over this element of time, okay, whilst they've been kind of having these options open, okay, this element of doing their own thing, over time, I think things have been catching up or have caught up where I feel there have been an element where feelings have kind of been I feel like they may have actually got feelings for this other individual, and I think the lies and the deceit or game playing is getting a little bit hard now to keep up this pretense. Something has significantly changed. I think maybe even potentially around their circumstances and potentially maybe what they now want, okay? I feel circumstances have also, for the female here, have particularly changed. And I think whether they've been going through a bad time, maybe things have changed within their circumstances, maybe how they're viewing situations or the perception of a relationship. I think that somebody is, or the guy here, has actually started to get a bit of a conscience, or had also here a bit of a wake-up call. Something has changed. Now, like I say, I think there's two sides here. I think the female has come from a completely true and 100% honest circumstances from the very beginning. But I think equally the guy, because of his behaviour and the way he's been playing, and maybe potentially with some of the, because I do feel like there has been an element of still like options open, potentially dating sites he have been gone on to. I think he's been caught off guard here or tripped up, okay? And I think also for some of the lies and deception, thinking, or you're trying to project that onto the other individual, thinking maybe that the other female could have potentially been doing this due to having a guilty conscience and projecting that onto them, have realised that's never been the case, okay? And I think he's starting to feel a little bit bad because we've got the recognition and reward card. I think something significantly, his circumstances are changing for the better, okay? And I think this is something to do with, okay, as well, about security with the other individual, or changing the circumstances on somebody else and feeling bad now, where they've kind of manipulated circumstances around that and can now see where their actions have taken the other person for a bit of a ride, and understanding now that the other individual, their circumstances have changed, and I think some of that could potentially have been due to them taking the mickey a bit, okay? There's some element of truth here, okay, around investment, time, effort, energy, or seeing somebody in a different way. Something's changed through communication, okay? And also I think how they're seeing things. I've got a funny feeling here, alright. They've realised the value of the female that's been in their life for a significant period of time. And I think as well, something's gone a little bit wrong. Okay. I feel there's been a block or a hold put on, not to the, as say, I feel like there's a divorce, separation that's taken place, okay? And I go back to saying that the whole time this has never been what this has been about, alright? I feel like there's been a reconnect with somebody from the past, and I've got to be honest, I do feel like a significant period of time between January and April of this year, okay, potentially there's been another individual involved in this relationship. So in other words, we could say there's been a four-party relationship, okay, and that's now come to an end. It's now actually come to a realisation that I feel like that this guy now wants to move forward away from a circumstance that he got involved in from I feel it's more been ego, stupidity. Okay. I think he's now about to realise potentially what he could lose, and I think this has been through manipulation. Okay, there's an ending here. And I feel it's around the female that he's been involved with, and this has been due to actually realising how much of support, okay, and through a fear of actually long-term security being lost, okay, the reality of some of the actions here. There's some significant events turning for the better with two individuals here that can sort this situation out, okay? But I'm going to be honest with you, I do feel like whomever they have blocked off, okay, this fourth person, let's just say the other individual that came into this relationship, who they could potentially have been dating on the side, on the sly, meeting up with, phone calls, reconnecting with, whatever. I hope this doesn't come out in the wrong way. I feel really quite sad about this reading. I genuinely do. Because when I look overall at the cards, the whole situation all the way through here has had the potential here to be something. This is almost like a really karmically hard reading here. Really, really difficult. Somebody has acted so stupidly here on the male side here. They really, really have. Because we've got a relationship here that there's been two people that could have lent on each other in a very, very good way. Granted, there have been situations they've both broken away from. But for the sake of indulgence or ego or sowing their oats, hoping not going to be found out, or just seeing whether it's what they really wanted or not, okay? We've got somebody here that, okay, I feel like circumstances for them in terms of their work, their career, moving forward, there's some really good opportunities of now for stability opening up. I feel another individual has gone through a very difficult time here, but that is about to change as well. I feel the two of them here could potentially move forward in a really, really positive way. But the issue is that for some reason there is something that needs to come out or will be coming out, conversations that need to be taken place, okay, regarding this other individual. Because for some reason, this situation, okay, for whatever reason, needs to be cleared up. Now, I am so hoping that this other individual does not contact, okay, or involve themselves in this relationship. But I do feel like I have to be honest, there is going to be an end to that. There is going to be some form of manipulation. There already has been manipulation on the male side here, trying to keep this away, or hoping that he could have got away with this, alright, by passing it off as something else, alright. We've almost got a guy here trying to keep somebody's mouth shut, okay, but passing off the past is the reason to why this other relationship didn't move forward. But I have to say here, we've got a female here I've just got a feeling he has messed with the wrong other female here, and the relationship that he wasn't so sure he wanted, or still had doubts about moving forward with, I think he's now truly regretting, because we've got this third person still looming in the background here. There's this tie to the past and a third person. Wow. I have to be honest, if this male or female, okay, if you think anything of this individual that you've been involved with as a long-term relationship here, okay, and you want your relationship to work out, I can honestly say it's going to take some time here, okay, but I do feel like there's going to be some form of retribution here coming out. I wouldn't be passing this off as bullshit. I wouldn't even be passing it off as saying that this was something that it wasn't. There is going to be something coming out here, and I'm going to tell you the truth. There is somebody here that you've messed with, and out of spite, and your behaviour, I feel is going to, this is coming out. And I feel it's been based around the male using the family and work to get away with this other situation. And we've got this indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly, okay? I feel there is so much, I honestly have to say, what's so sad about this is I feel, be it male or female, okay, whoever has been screwing around, okay, passing it off as something else, okay, with all of this other positive stuff going into or coming up, that could have potentially been coming up, and having this outcome of moving forward, I hate to say it, this other situation, there you go, needs dealing with, okay, I don't think you're going to be able to pass this off. I don't think you're going to get away with this, because one way or another, if you see that truth, in order to have this relationship, okay, and to prevent that individual from walking away, you're going to have to come out about like this other options that you've had about you, because this, I hate to, and again we've got the Lovers card, the choice. There's been two people involved with one man, and this man, I hate to say it, with the Moon card, and it was really funny because we had the Sun card here, okay, illumination, this brand new start, you've got the beginnings here, to have a brand new beginning, but it's going to have to be based on truth. And it was really weird because before the reason I did this reading, and it's all come out, which was so peculiar, in my car when I came out, the two cards, and I'm going to show you them, they were on the back seat of my car. It was the High Priestess, which is all about your intuition, your gut feeling, okay, your high knowledge, and the Moon card here, which is all about things being revealed. The Moon, truth, lies, your feelings, emotions, things being hidden, things coming out. And here it's all the same thing. There's been an element of control, okay, based on things being hidden away, because somebody's not wanting to let somebody go, okay, but still wanting to keep things hidden. And I do feel it's going to be coming out, but it's going to have to be based on absolute truth and communication, because this is coming out.